Hi besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, we have got to sit down and have a conversation about James Charles. It feels like the internet and us have just really been doing that recently, but it's just getting to a point where it's overwhelming and it's just like, what is happening and what can be done? Why aren't things being done? Why is this normalized? I just have a lot of thoughts that I want to sit down and talk to you about. So let's get on with the video. Please make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. Please make sure you're subscribed to my second YouTube channel, which will be linked below. I have videos on there every single day, including stuff of me and little Tyler right here. And yeah, on with the video. Let's talk. Okay, so you're aware of the James Charles situation, like to the point where I don't even need to describe what's going on. Really briefly though, James Charles has been accused since 2019 of being a P-word and having inappropriate relations, going out of his way to create inappropriate situations with him and minors, or him and underage people in general. Keep in mind, this is a 20-something-year-old man now, and I feel like people love to be like, you know, James is still so young, James is a teenager too, because in our head, the thing that James plays into to avoid all of these controversies is no more lies. Remember the video he made to combat Bi Sister, the video that Taddy Westbrook made calling him a P-word and all that drama in 2019, and he made that video, which was a really good video, but people now look at him always, in my opinion, of that 19-year-old boy. In 2019, he was 19, and you know, he's a teenager and, you know, he couldn't do this, and, you know, similar age to the people coming forward. Let's stop this. Stop this. And the reason I'm making this video is because a couple days ago, I posted a video in which we talked about, James Charles posted a video called Holding Myself Accountable. And I don't think whenever you're getting accused time and time again of this behavior with minors, that you can really just do a video called Holding Myself Accountable as like a YouTube video addressing it. This needs to go to jail and court, this situation, prison, you know, the prison system, because in his video, he acknowledges and basically confirms that with two of these boys, children, you know, he was inappropriate with them. Isn't that a felony? Why is this now a conversation of, are Morphy gonna drop James Charles? Are YouTube gonna drop James Charles? And why isn't it, our prison gonna pick up James Charles? Is the courtroom gonna pick up James Charles? So this video is being born from me posting that video, and since I posted that video, in that video that we watched of James, he said, you know, this is never gonna happen again, sisters, and all like this. It's happened again. There has been multiple cases of boys coming forward, sharing DMs from James, sharing screenshots, sharing text, sharing everything of James going out of his way to create these situations in which he has a power imbalance in a way that favors him towards these young boys so that they act in a certain way, sometimes sexually, in his favor. And in some of these conversations that we're seeing, alleged conversations, it's him asking to see things or wanting things done on camera by them to send to him. And it's like, this is continuously coming out after he posted a video called Holding Myself Accountable. Like, this is so far beyond YouTube. This is so far beyond everything. Like, why does this keep happening? Why is this okay? I believe, and I'm gonna be honest, I was watching a Blaire White video last night. Blaire White is someone I do not like. Does anyone really like Blaire White? Don't know. And she had done a video talking about why James Charles continues and will continue to get away with this behavior. And there were some interesting points. And she said in this video about how James Charles will continue to get away with this behavior because no one will really want to hold him accountable because he's a gay man who wears makeup and that isn't seen as a threat. And I normally disagree with just about everything that Blaire White says, and I've been thinking about that all night. Is the general public okay with letting James Charles away with acknowledging and agreeing that he's engaging in this behavior? Is it because they're not seeing him as a threat because he's a boy who wears makeup and he is feminine? Is it that? Because there's the same argument of, in the court system, you know, female P words and male P words, and the way, you know, the court deals with both sometimes is, you know, a little bit up in the air. And people are thinking, and Blaire said in her video, that is James being treated the same way people respond to female P words? Because he is so feminine, and he has all this makeup and all the hair and the lashes. Is it people are looking at him and being like, you know, he could never be one of those, or look at him, he couldn't be one of those, like he's too innocent, or he's, you know, like, he's not the stereotypical, you know, candidate that we're really seeing. But then again, Blaire said that in her video, and I disagree with that statement. How the hell can someone sit and be like, the stereotypical P word? Really? Any person can be one, which we're seeing here. And the fact that appearance is seemingly coming into this on why people don't want to have a conversation about James, or not even just have a conversation, continue to have a conversation, is a bit alarming. And it's alarming because he's not getting dropped by anyone, companies aren't taking action, and he's continuing to hang around these groups of teenagers online, like the Charli D'Amelio, Dixie D'Amelio, all like this, which it poses the question, shame on the parents of these young TikTokers who are like 16 and all, who are the same age as the boys who are coming forward about James. If I was a parent and I was seeing that this grown man was getting accused of this stuff by 16-year-olds, he would not be allowed around my 16-year-old children. Now, bestie, I want to ask you a question. What's your opinion on that? I tweeted this briefly, and I'm going to put it out on my YouTube. If you are a parent, please comment below what your opinion is on what's happening with James Charles. How are you feeling about this? Because there's no action being taken. He's acknowledging it, as in agreeing with two of them and saying it did happen, and there's no repercussions, and he's now being pushed on all these social medias to these more younger people, in which he has acknowledged, James Charles said he has used his TikTok as a dating site. He has used his YouTube as a dating site, allegedly. All these different things to find, you know, all these different people. And I think as a parent, you need to be like, is my child going to be next? This grown man has agreed that this is what he's doing, has said that, yes, I've used my social media as a dating pool. Your audience is children. And so him now being around these young TikTokers who have a young following is further pushing him to these children. And I genuinely mean it when I think and know, in my opinion, that he needs to get help. He needs to be taken off social media. If it's permanent, if it's not, I've said about how deplatforming is, I believe it's a sensitive issue and it needs to go case by case or whatever. Even if you're not going to do it permanently, he has been saying that he's, you know, abusing his power and all like this, and power imbalance, and look at him trying to sound all woke by talking about it. I think he genuinely needs to be taken away from having all of this power for at least a couple weeks, at least a couple months, so he can start to see that the world he's living in, the world he's created, which he agrees in his video, is not a normal world, and he cannot be using his social medias, which are going out to children, as ways of finding men, finding D appointments. It's irresponsible and illegal whenever you're doing it to that young age group. So the fact that every day I'm checking my phone and there is another screenshot of another child coming forward against him, or an 18-year-old coming forward against him, a just turned 18-year-old, someone who's been 19, someone who's talking about their experience whenever they were 18, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old. Why is this continuing to happen? And Morphy, shame on Morphy, you know the makeup brand? They're refusing to act on this because James brings them in so much money. Did they or did they not drop Laura Lee, Manny MUA, Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson? Like this. But James Charles, he brings in a lot of money because that's, you know, at the end of the day. And I know YouTube have dropped him from Insta Influencer, but at a certain stage, is Insta Influencer really the one that's giving him all of this reach with children? No, it's his YouTube channel. And shame on TikTok. James Charles came forward in a video about addressing all these accusations about being, you know, a P word, and literally said that he used his TikTok For You page as a dating site. And there is a video that resurfaced of James Charles from last year, 2020, in which he posted a TikTok and he said that, you know what, sisters, I'm going to be using this as a dating profile, so send me your contact. He's been shown to be using your platform and abusing it as a dating profile. And you need to be acting. I don't care if he brings you in a lot of money. A lot of other creators will bring you in a lot of money. It's to the stage where it seems a bit dangerous, and I get the full conversation around Hollywood and, you know, the enabling behavior and stuff like this, but it's so upsetting to see it continue happen on social media. And it's constant. And think of the amount of people who are speaking out now. There are a lot of alleged victims who are now getting, you know, the confidence to speak up. And they're not going to be addressed. You know why? Because James acknowledged 2 of them. And why did he only acknowledge 2 of them? In his video, oh, and also, in his video, he says 2 boys under the age of 18 came forward saying that they had inappropriately messaged me. Are we focused on his wording here? James, you inappropriately messaged them. These are children. You cannot victim blame children in this when you're the grown man. What grown man goes out of their way to want to be with under 18-year-olds? Or just turned 18-year-olds? It doesn't seem right. It seems to be a deep-rooted mental issue that needs to be addressed, taken care of, before more people are exposed to this. And genuinely, when it comes to stuff like this now, the protection of his audience needs to be taken into factor, because his audience aren't going to care. His audience are children. I saw a tweet from a child, someone who's not even old enough to be on Twitter, saying that, you know, we need to stop coming for James and all because I want him to message me because I love him so much. Like, a fan is saying this. Parents as well. Like, please, like, we need to start being very careful in this. Like, it's just not okay. It's not okay. And the fact that nothing is being done, and you know what, he's gonna come back and he's gonna ignore it like he's been doing. It just got to a point where he wasn't able to ignore it anymore. And it just needs to stop. It has gone way too far. Way too far. And it shouldn't have even gone far. It doesn't need to go way too far. It shouldn't have even gone to there, then far, then way too far. It shouldn't have gotten to this stage. But why is it that every single day now we check Twitter and we're seeing another person coming? How many people was he texting? How many people was James Charles being sexual with on Snapchat? Is he genuinely stupid? Does he not realize that in doing all of this, maybe a couple people were going to speak up about it, maybe not all of them were completely comfortable with it, especially if they're telling you they're not comfortable with it? Dear Lord Almighty. It's almost like too ridiculous to be true. But you know what? It is true and we can't ignore it. And like, what more can we do except continue to talk about it? We don't have any power. You know, all we have is our platforms to talk about it. Mainstream news picked it up and still companies aren't acting? Did companies not act a lot sooner with David Dobrik? Did they or did they not? Did they or did they not act a lot quicker with Shane Dawson? Did they or did they not act a lot quicker with Jeffrey? Even Jeffrey they acted quicker with. Laura Lee was dropped like that. Manny was dropped like that. James, there's a little bit of a difference and I don't know why. I don't know why. And I'm now posing the question to you because I'm genuinely ending this video confused. What's the reason? Where's the difference? Like, why is this continuing to happen? We're not even seeing a pattern anymore. We're seeing like a lifestyle from James. Can we really start calling it a pattern if there's more than like 10? Allegedly. It's ridiculous. It's scary. You hear about these stories from Hollywood and it's disgusting and stomach turning. But whenever you're starting to hear them from the platforms that you genuinely love, it's mind-blowing. Someone responded to James' tweet and was like, now we know we have to be careful messaging people. This isn't being careful messaging people. This is going out of your way multiple times. Like sourcing out these people who have their age in their bio, who are very underage looking. It's deeply upsetting and troubling. Again, please, like, why do you think it is? Bestie, I love you. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay happy, and just... I hope to have that conversation with you below. I'll see you. Bye.